Wow, today has been one of the craziest days for crypto in a long time, but I already made a video on this a few days ago, and I basically stated that most likely this is just the start. And I don't know why not more people are talking about this right now. The fact that Trump is coming in hot. He's already been making tons of promises. He's going to come in about a week from now. And the idea is basically that the moment he sets foot into that presidency chair, he's going to embrace crypto more and more over time. So this idea of no, we should be fearful because it's like a buy the rumors, sell the news type of event is kind of negated by the idea that it opens up a whole new chapter of new crypto adoption points. And so even though on the day itself, the day before, just putting it out there, prices could go slightly down, it's mostly just because of speculatory reasons that people are trying to most likely manipulate the price a little bit to make you sell for fear of the event, etc. So we can have a lot of volatility around it. But most likely, as we look over a 3-month to 5-month scope, it'll most likely go up by crazy margins. I'm personally expecting at least a 50% pump even on Bitcoin. And so many of our top assets like XRP, like Virtual, just all those coins that right now are in a good spot, most likely we'll see at least a 2x over the next 3 to 6 months. Why am I saying that? Well, because most likely it's going to be way more than that. Most likely the altcoin season kicks in very shortly here, and the gains are just immeasurable. Some of our top coins could do a 4x from here, and that's pretty crazy if you think about it, that you're holding something for 4 months and it goes times 4. Then again, if you've not got it yet, I've left a link down below to 𝗏𝗏, as right now we're giving away 2 iPhone 16s. We're trading also. And of course, with trading, the gains sometimes to some extent are multiplied a little bit. For example, on Virtual here, I've already been taking a couple $1,000s worth of profit, but it just keeps going up. And I keep thinking, well, you know what? Even right now, it's still relatively quite low for where it could be over, a few week time span. But then again, because I was able to buy at $2.70, actually I also bought very, very low, $2.20, but not so much. I'm thinking, you know what? Because I just bought this yesterday, 2 days ago, basically. It's a free $10,000 or a little bit more than that. Let me just take it because I never know where the price is going to go next. And I can basically just keep trying to get these opportunities rather than trying to take this long all the way towards Valhalla. Then again, we got ourselves rejected at $5. I was kind of expecting the move right here to continue on to there as well, but we just got rejected at $4 or $3.99. Yeah, so let's call it $4 just now. And similarly, I've had many people asking me what I think is going to happen to XRP on the short term. Right now, we're at $2.95 a coin. And again, our trades are still doing amazing, but I kind of feel as if $3 is not that important of resistance. I think the probability that we're just going to skyrocket through and go crazy is, again, in my opinion, actually quite high. Right now, especially since Bitcoin just broke above 100,000. Let's quickly give it a second to reload here. Let's just quickly, I don't think refreshing helps. You just have to wait a little second. But man, just the entire space here. Algorand up 20%. XDC down 8% in an hour. What's going on with that one? That is peculiar. That is interesting. Well, take a look at that. So it went to like 14 cents and then right back down to what, like 12 cents or so in just a snap. I guess it just had a little bit of a correction because the price went up too much, maybe. Bitcoin seems to have gone down below $100,000 again. It's $40 below it. Ethereum, $34.40. Just all these coins are such a crazy, crazy spot right now as we speak. XLM up 10%. Let's take a look at the top gainer right now. Yeah, so it is Virtual indeed. So we did get ourselves a pretty good buy right there at indeed our $2.60. But as I was trying to say, we earlier established that the dip that we saw for Bitcoin was a pretty solid one. And when I look at some of my YouTuber chats and some of the bigger group chats, people say, you know what? It's actually going to start falling from here right back down to 84.5. Something along those lines, or maybe even as low as 70,000. And I reverted back saying there's a small chance it will, sure, but I don't think now is that time because we're too close to the Trump inauguration. We're too close to the change of the SEC. It really wouldn't make too much sense for it to happen, now. If it does, then think about it for a second. How would that look for Trump and for BlackRock, etc., if going into it, everything, the whole crypto space just goes down? Because I kind of think it would be a bit of a cascade where things drop so hard, it kind of looks bad on the initial dates. And so I kind of feel as if people also understand that. So either it's a very big plot where they're going to manipulate the price so hard to make it drop when he gets president, so he's not going to announce a big deal. I'm also thinking two sides there. If the price drops like 30% to 70,000, something like that, which I don't think is going to happen, but hey, then on the one hand, getting a reserve going is kind of nice because it would happen when prices are really low. So that's kind of cool. On the opposite side, think with me here. Wouldn't it look bad in your administration if you just said, hey, we're super bullish, and the moment I get president, I'm going to announce all these things, and then the price drops 30% in a few days? I kind of feel as if it's just going to be so much buying all around that we're going to see probably $120,000 really, really quickly from here. And most likely, this is just logic, but the moment 120,000 is hit, it's going to be a pretty quick journey towards 150 and so forth and so on. And I really think that Trump is the start of the next leg up. And I think we might have already started it here. As right now, we're back above $100,000. You might have said that last week, right? But now, again, we're getting closer and closer towards the real Trump date. And you can sell on the short term. I don't think that's bad. For example, to try buy back cheaper, sure. But there's only a very limited amount of flush outs we can have right here before Trump. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not your financial advisor. All I'm doing is explaining my thought process here. But the fact that Trump is coming in hot and everything around that makes me think it's not worth it to sell here. Even if things do come crashing down, I'm taking that chance because I don't think it's worth selling here just before Trump gets in. Again, if you're in a crazy position, you're trading on bluff and something like that, you're seeing profits you've never seen before, and you're extremely happy to cash it in, lock it in, hey, that's pretty cool, right? Do that. But if we're seriously talking about, are we too high already? Is it going to correct like crazy? Well, even though I would say that XRP at $3 is a bit high, in terms of how much of a gainer it made in just a few days, it's due for a little bit of a correction, maybe towards like 260 or so. And that's a good region to buy at if I were to be a gambling man, or $2.70 maybe even. Basically $2.70 and below. On the opposite side, I'm thinking, well, if Trump comes in a few days, Gary Gensler shifts, or there's another major thing, by the way, if you are an XRP holder, if the SEC does not file their brief by today, by the way, which they most likely will, because Ripple asked them, hey, can we just delay it until after the new administration? And the SEC said no. But if they do not file the brief by today, there could literally be a $3.70 whatever XRP. I'm going to say a bit lower, but let's just say $3.40, $3.70, maybe even $4 it could be by the end of the day. And it's kind of funny how quick things are moving, right? Where just yesterday, $4 sounded so far away. And now I'm telling you, it's only a 30% move. It could literally happen in the snap of a day if one bullish announcement comes out. For example, XRP ETFs, you guys remember what happened to Bitcoin? It didn't really happen like that to Ethereum, but I think for XRP being such a more speculative and hyped up asset, the moment we get ETFs, it could be, again, just a massive, massive pump on the day because it was kind of like not expected, so to speak. So perhaps, again, $4, $5. I just said on Twitter as well, it's kind of like all gas, no brakes from here. It kind of feels as if nothing can stop this move anymore. And by the way, a big part of why Bitcoin was moving just now was the positive inflation numbers. It just took the entire market by storm, made the Bitcoin go up a bit, and that's just cascading onto every single other asset, it seems. But I've been looking through all these different accounts, basically. People are saying, what's the news? What's the news? What's the news? For example, now a very big account asks, so what's actually going on? And I'm telling you right now, there's no one specific part, but it's kind of funny how just a few days ago, you can see it from the fear and greed as well. There was such crazy amounts of fear. No, this is where Bitcoin starts correcting. This is the move towards the downside. That's what all of those accounts were saying. And all of a sudden, I just kind of feel as if this was a good flush to let people schmeck them back into reality. Again, I stayed bullish all throughout this period, not because I was guaranteeing you guys it was going to be all right on the short term. I would never do that. But I'm just saying, again, the reason I did not sell XRP, even here at $2.50, I made a video saying, hey, if you guys want to sell right here, you can most likely buy cheaper. But I said, I'm not selling because I expected to get to $3 really, really soon here and break its all-time high because I think the structure has broken. And that was basically the downtrend that now shifted into an uptrend. And again, I said, hey, you know what? We can actually sell there. And then afterwards, I said, I didn't sell. We can actually start buying again. Well, once more, why did I not do that? Mostly because I actually did, but not on this account. Because as I told you guys, I buy every XRP every single day. But regardless, this top here, $2.60, we also talked about this bottom. I did not know. I wasn't really paying attention. This is just drawn in afterwards. And again, I expected the price to move to $3 yesterday. It didn't, but it did today. And from here on forward, I said at $3, hey, it's actually a good point to sell, psychological barrier. But I might be proven wrong. And that's the thing. People look at this and say, Dusty, you always say you should sell, but or afterwards, or this, that is. The thing is, it's all based on probability. For example, me, I would say selling at $3 right here is wise. Why? Because you can most likely buy back cheaper. That's for any psychological barrier, though. Same for example, the highest point before, which is 290 something. We talked about it, like 290. I can't figure out what the exact number is. Let's quickly see. So the highest number here seems to be 291 or something along those lines. Theoretically speaking, it would have been wise to sell at that spot. Well, actually, there was another, the highest daily close or something like that. That's where I sold yesterday, basically, at 286. Why? Because it was basically the previous high point. And so here we go. You can see this highest point on Bluefin following a close was 287. So the moment it went to 286, I decided to sell a couple $100, actually just to pay for funding fees, to basically guarantee myself a non-loss in case things started moving back down again. But they moved down only a few percent, though, to 271, and then right back up to above 3. Now, what happened in that instance? So why did we buy? Why did we not buy? Why did we sell a little bit? The idea there being, it could just go right back down all the way to 230. You don't really know. There's a good chance it's going to break $3 because the move shifted, but you do not know because even here, this top would have been quite proper, right? Our previous top at $2.50, let's say, a bottom at roughly 220, a new top at roughly 290 almost, and then another bottom, for example, back at 260. It would look proper, right? So even if it did that, it wouldn't be too strange. We blasted through mostly because of the support by Bitcoin and the inflation numbers being bullish. And everything now just all cascading onto one another, but it's not a guarantee. And so from here on forward again, yes, there's a good chance we're going to be at $4 in a snap because that's what happened last time as well. Every single time you thought, oh, there's going to be a break now, it was just more and more hours and more days of just crazy pumps. And there's a good chance it's going to repeat because Trump is now going to come in. And I talk about it as if it's freaking sent by the Lord himself, the whole Trump. No. But on the opposite side, if you told me this years ago that Trump would be really pro-crypto, he would boost specifically U.S. crypto companies, of which Ripple is one, then I would have probably gone all in, smacked my whole family in the face to borrow me money, you know what I mean? And just, if I now had a time machine as well, if I could ever go back into time, I would probably just go of course, hindsight's 2020. I would just say, if I had a time machine with the knowledge I have today, but then I know, like, all the coins are different, basically. I wouldn't know which coin would do well, all that stuff. I would basically just go all in on a specific coin or just the crypto space. But again, I try to give you the idea with, even if I didn't know which coins would do well and I couldn't go for Bitcoin and all those, I just go crazy on some coins because there's a chance of losing it all, sure. And I always address that. There's a chance it's going to go to zero. But the probability of making it, especially now in this 6-month time span, is so high that even right now, I'm looking at my trades thinking, you know what? If I didn't have a main trade account, I'd probably just open it up and put, so I could open what? Let's quickly see. So right now, without me depositing more money, I could still open a $1.2 million trade. I kind of feel as if I should just click it, open a $1.2 million trade and just wait a few days to see where it's going to end up. And that's why I'm thinking maybe even at $2.60, I just got to go in hard. Just commit and go crazy. I might even just do that right now if we manage to go back down. But because I kind of feel as if we won't. And Trump, the risk to reward just looks so good to go a bit crazy on. But again, maybe it's just, again, the reason I'm not doing it is because there's also risk involved. And the risk is that it's going to look bad for a while, right? If I keep the trade only a few $100,000 worth, then I basically cannot lose. The moment I go towards millions of dollars, then I have to deposit a whole lot of money not to be in any sort of trouble the moment we get a big swing towards the downside. Because remember, if we go from $3 to $2, it's roughly 30% down, let's call it. And if I'm putting, let's say $3 million in, that's still $1 million down on that short amount of time. Now, again, can we recover from that? Sure. But if we had bought at $2.60, for example, the amount we'd be down is so significantly lower that at that point, the more money you're playing around with, the details and the cents really start mattering. Even now, for example, taking a look at virtual, right? If I just opened this with a little bit more money, I only put $2,000 in. If I decided to put in $20,000 instead of if I open a 200K trade instead of a 20K trade, this would, right, that's just in 2 days, right, would be in $100,000 worth of profit because we already took $3,000 out. Now it's only $10,000. Again, for 2 days, not bad at all, but you see the significance right there. And so that's just on a 2-day banger, right? And for XRP, it's been slightly longer, so it doesn't count as much. We put $100,000 in, but just think about it, just 10x more. And the reason I'm saying it so blatantly, like, oh, just 10x more, is because ultimately, if I can handle the downside, then it's just a game of patience. Because I realize the chance of XRP going to $4 in my own head is 99.99%. It's just a matter of time. So all I care about is just not being down a lot on the short term, but the upside is just so much greater that I'm thinking, whatever. Anyway, that's just my thought process. Maybe I'm talking nonsense. Maybe it sounds like that to you. To me, it makes so much sense. But it's also because I've been looking at these screens for many, many months in a row. Matter of fact, many years in a row. I understand XRP like no other, I think. And one of the things I understand about it is these pumps are so parabolically majestic, or majestically parabolic, I should say, that the moment it starts going, it just usually keeps on going like crazy. XRP usually is a bit of a late gainer this cycle. It's really not, though. But here, I don't really think, that we're in a bad spot. I even think, even if you're just buying at $3, I told you guys before, I think ultimately you will be fine. Might just take a bit of time, but you will be fine. And remember, ladies and gents, if the entire industry is going to like 200 trillion, maybe 500 trillion, which I think it will, give it like 20 years and we'll dare, then it's all short-term stuff, right? And the reason Michael Saylor and all those guys can buy hundreds of millions of dollars every single week, and they're just committing, blasting the top, is because ultimately, it don't matter if you bought your XRP at $2.12 or $2.50 when it's at $100. And I keep saying, you can call me ridiculous, but I believe XRP will be trading above $100 someday. But as it currently stands, even right now, I think it will quickly go above $12 in the next few weeks or months. But no guarantees. I'm just saying that's my own thought process. And so from that perspective, I just keep buying the freaking dip. I buy my coins every single day. It kind of feels bad to buy because it's so high, but ultimately I know where we're headed, and so it makes it kind of easy. He's also buying the top at a freaking $100,000 per Bitcoin, which also feels crazy to me, but ultimately it'll be worth it, but you just gotta think about it from a little bit further into the future. Anyway, guys, if you want to trade, a link down below to Bluefin. Check it out if you're looking to trade crypto. Don't over leverage. I keep saying people try to leverage 50x. Why do that? Keep it simple. Don't over leverage yourself, because at that point you can't stomach the downsides. And sometimes you get a massive move towards the downside. You got to be able to stomach those. So keep that into consideration. I want to quickly make that clear. Sometimes you can do 125x leverage, right, on some exchanges. Don't do that. That's at that point you're just literally winging it. Let's see, on Bluefin you can do, I think, let's see, you can do 50x. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I would stay to maximum maybe 20, maybe 25 or so. You can see my trades here are 10, 10, and 15x. Even on Bybit, for the most part, I almost never do 50 or 100x. To be honest, you can do it if you have a significant amount of money on the account. For example, if I'm doing a cross trade where the total amount is, for example, 5 Bitcoins, so let's say $500,000 or so. But if your account encompasses more than that, then honestly, you're just trying to take advantage of a small move in the Bitcoin price with the least amount of margin. But it's, to be honest, almost the same as just doing 10x with just more money. But you'll figure that out for yourself. Just don't over leverage. It's always important to say. And what a freaking lucky spot we're in, right? To witness all these coins going up so much. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are seeing massive gains. And remember, whatever is happening today, whatever your coins are worth today, they might not be worth tomorrow. So if you're witnessing life-changing amounts of gains, just sell it. And that might sound stupid because I keep seeing in the comments people saying, Dusty, don't tell people to sell. I'm telling you right now, if you are witnessing something that's going to change your life forever, sell it quickly, with the quickness, with haste, with speed, because you might never get the opportunity again. And again, I've been here for 10 years in a row, preaching the same thing every single day, every single year. You see people come and go that always, wish they sold the freaking top. So I'm telling you right now, $3 in XRP, you've not gotten this price in 8 years. It's okay if you want to sell, for example, a good portion of your bag just to make sure it's safe. Let's say you bought at 10 cents a coin. Right now it's at $3. And you want to take out whatever money you put in times 2. I mean, your money is times 30 right now. So take out, for example, 7 times your money, and you let the rest at 23 times whatever. Your money, you let it still ride. Is it really stupid? You decide. But yeah, that's about it for this little crypto update. Just wanted to get my thoughts out there, and that's about it.